Hi, my name's Rob, but you can call me XRobU or that annoying Australian. This is just a quick guide to the new Home2FreePBX conversion tool that we've just released. I've set up a couple of virtual machines that I'm going to be running this on. One is the latest Elastics that I could find, Elastics 2.5, and the other is a new empty FreePBX distro machine running the latest version of FreePBX 13. This is the Elastics 2.5 machine. You can see I've set up some extensions here. I used the random name generator to pick these names, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce them, but you can see they're all configured as a normal phone system would be. I also have some inbound routes, and I'm just going to make some changes here to prove that this is all really happening. That can be our main 800 number, and I'll pick another one. Oh, that's an important number. We need to make sure Jenny doesn't lose that number. Just click submit and apply and wait for Elastics to finish. Alright, now that I've done that, I'll just click around quickly and show you there's actual real data on this machine. Ring groups, IVRs, queues, all the normal things. I'm now going to my test machine. I have sped this up because this is pretty much an untouched install. So I need to go and activate it using the activation wizard. I obviously already have an account, but if you didn't, it would be asking you to fill in all your details rather than having them already there. Also, because I've previously activated this machine before I reinstalled it, it already has a deployment. If I wanted to create a new one, I could, but I'll just let this one activate using its standard one. Now that it's activated, you can see that all the standard sysadmin modules are available. But now, I'm going to go and turn on Firewall. Now that it's on, I'm going to run the wizard. Firewall wizard just asks a couple of simple questions and then it's up and running. Also, because this is just a little quick test, I am going to paste the entire network to the trusted zone. And you can also see I left this interface set as trusted, which is actually wrong. Paste that network as trusted, and the entire network now has unfiltered access to this machine. Now I'm going to set up an SSL certificate. Notice we had a warning about the firewall, and we automatically added the correct nodes to the firewall. Creating the certificate now through Let's Encrypt. And in a couple of seconds, Let's Encrypt generate our certificate, and that's it, it's done. I've assigned it to default so that Apache, Node.js and Asterisk will all use it without needing to configure them individually. We now need to actively assign it to Apache, which is done. And now I can go through and configure my ports. By default, things aren't as secure as I'd like them to be. I've set UCP to be the default HTTPS service, and I've moved the admin port to be 1443. As I'm not doing anything else, I disable all the rest. Now I'm going to test my changes. Firstly, I want to make sure that default HTTPS goes to UCP. And it does. Excellent. Now I'm checking that the admin port is on 1443. And it is. Excellent. I'll just have a quick click around on this new machine so you can see that it is actually empty. There aren't any extensions, there aren't any routes, it is completely empty. Now, after I've done all of this and I've proved that this is an empty machine, I'm going to finally start the conversion process. I'm opening an SSH connection to both machines. The machine called Elastics 2.5 is the old Elastics 2.5 machine that we refer to as the donor. The machine called Test 1 is obviously the new FreePBX 13 machine that we've just been looking at. So from this point onwards, everything is run at normal speed, so this should give you a good feel for how long it would take in the real world. We run the same command on both machines, curl -s https convert.freepbx.org pipe bash. I actually forgot to put the -s on both machines to start with. All it does is suppress some progress information from curl, so I didn't fix it on the new machine on the bottom, just so you can see what the difference is in the output. When you start the conversion, your first step is to reserve a conversion slot. This allocates resources to the conversion and tells the conversion service what the version of FreePBX is you're running, so it can return data in the correct format. So I just pushed enter on the new machine and it gave me a reservation ID. I paste that ID into the donor machine and the conversion starts. If you have a lot of hand-configured endpoint configurations, you would say yes to TFTP boot. However, this was just a simple example machine, so it wasn't needed. The backed up data is then compressed and encrypted, and the location details sent to the donor machine. This is the unexciting but complex part from here on. The raw data from each FreePBX module is being extracted and sent off to the conversion service. For safety and privacy reasons, all of this data is only kept in temporary storage and isn't recoverable at all. If the conversion process crashes or is aborted, it cannot be continued or resumed, and it must be started again from the beginning. We've tried to make this process as easy and painless as possible, so in the unlikely event that it does fail, it shouldn't be a problem to restart it. When this video was made, only a limited number of modules were available in the conversion service, but we expect new modules will be added pretty rapidly. You can see that the new machine is a status bar, and that keeps you informed of what's going on. It makes it easy to keep an eye on things if you can't have a window open to each machine. When the data has finished being sent, the conversion service, the new machine will attempt to contact the donor machine and download the encrypted backup. As a lot of Elastic's machines don't have a valid SSL certificate, we make sure the backup is encrypted before transferring it. If the connection between the two machines had failed, you would have seen an error and instructions. The new machine will wait until you transfer that file manually. The conversion finishes up by adding all users and creating UCP accounts with random passwords. We also make sure that all international characters are preserved. At this point, we now go back to our test machine, which was empty, and you will see that all the data has been copied across successfully. When we go to extensions, you will see that not only are all the users there, but all their individual settings have been preserved too, such as do not disturb and call waiting. You can also see that the newer extensions, which are only 3 digits long, compared to 4 digits for the rest, and fax ATAs don't have call waiting. Going to IVRs, you will see that they've also been converted successfully, and the 3 IVRs that were on the donor machine have come across perfectly. Looking in trunks, our 2 trunks have been imported, with the configuration updated to suit the latest FreePBX. You will also see that the trunks have been set to disabled. This is the only thing that is changed in the import and avoids the donor machine losing registration to a provider. You will need to manually re-enable the trunk when you're ready. Here's the ring group we left open on the old donor machine. I'll just scroll up and down quickly so you can check that everything is here. And you will see that the new conversion matches perfectly with the old configuration. We can also compare queues. Queues have advanced significantly since Elastics, and there's many more settings available. But the defaults are set to match the older version, so you shouldn't notice any significant changes. Of course, you should go through all the new settings and check for anything that might be useful to you. A lot has changed since the older version of FreePBX, so it's worth just having a look through there. The important thing, of course, is that your current settings come across, and you can see that it worked. There they all are. All the agents were migrated, and the dynamic agents without any changes came through. That's pretty much it. Thank you for your time. Finally, as we go back to dashboard, you'll see that there is a warning about ETH0 being in the trusted zone. This is because, as I mentioned, I forgot to change the default zone of ETH0 to external way back at the start, and the firewall is ineffective on this machine. You would normally go and fix it. Thanks very much.